Alright, I was going to do a brief build overview of what exactly is going on in that Arbiter, the Max Arbiter fight. I posted a previous video with the Bloodmage Frostbolt variant. It's still very strong, but I watched a video from a creator called Lexi U, and I'll link it in the video, or I'll put it in the description as a link to it. Lexi U, he had an update for new tech for Infinite Lightning Warp. I kind of used that and then kind of played upon a couple of other things. And then there's another really good video I recommend watching from called Gold Farming Guide. He briefly goes over how to fix your Bloodmage DPS. It's also extremely beneficial. And there's a lot of other guides out there that are going to be way better. But there's a couple of different things that I do that make it a little bit easier on my hands. And also really good for just single target DPS. And really fun. I love the Lightning Warp Bloodmage variant. What I love about the Bloodmage is you can literally do any skill because of the combination of Wrathpith and the combination of Atutuli's Bloodletting. A lot of you know about the scaling life to increase the physical damage, because this skill makes your skill cost more life, and because of that, as you can see, if I take off these two items, my damage goes from 1 million tooltip all the way down to 40k. So clearly these are the two most vital pieces of the build, followed by the other mandatory piece that the other video kind of explains why those are necessary, which is the Undying Hate Timeless Jewel. So my build follows very closely. There's other couple of differences that I do in terms of my skill tree that are kind of optimized just for me personally. Because I also go with the Embedder here, which all the extra damage that I gain as physical, I convert it to cold. I like doing that because I like freezing enemies. Not only do I like the animation in terms of how they just crumble when they're frozen, it also improves my survivability because things are just instantly frozen. And it's also really, really good for single target, and I'll explain why. Because you can pick up these two nodes here, which is 50% increased damage with hits against frozen enemies, and then also hits ignore non-negative elemental resistance of frozen enemies. So you'll notice in my video of the Arbiter, as soon as he becomes frozen, the damage he takes increases substantially. And if you kind of play that back, you'll notice as soon as it happens. And that's why. It's a combination of all those things. This gem being required because if you don't have the life recovery that you need to do the build, it's not playable, which a lot of you already know. But now I'm going to get into the cool variation. The other piece that is mandatory for this is Spellslinger. You have to have Spellslinger wand. If you don't have this, you can't do this variation, and that's because you need the Spellslinger skill on your tree. And the reason why you need that is because as you're casting your skill, it's increasing your max energy gain for these trigger and meta skills. I think it's important to have at least, like, I mean, obviously the higher Spellslinger, the better. I like, I think 19 and up is great. I mean, obviously you can do this with an 18 and 17, but you know, the premium gear is 19 above, 20 if you want the extra skill slot. It's not mandatory for what I'm doing in terms of my build. A nice to have potentially, but not needed. You also can, I prefer plus all spell skills instead of all lightning skills, just because I change my build a lot, and the plus all skills is better for everything, not just the skill, not just a lightning skill. So obviously the premium wand that I'm going for is like +5 all spell skills with plus spell skills in the wand. I don't have that yet, but that's what I'm going for. And that's because, you know, your spell level is very important in terms of damage. Like my lightning warp here is at 1 million sheet. If I take it off, you know, it cuts in half, right? So +4, very beneficial. And when I get the currency, I'll put plus all spell skills in here. Really would love to get a +5, but you know, that's mirror tier quality gear we're talking. And if you got it, well, you might as well get a +19, +5. But anyway, on to why Spellslinger is needed. You can just cast Ball Lightning and use Lightning Warp in that way. But if I hold Ball Lightning and then I try to press Lightning Warp, it's really finicky. I have to like right click and then let go and then press the Lightning Warp, and in terms of movement and playability, I don't like it when I have to press the buttons 1,000 times, so that's where Spellslinger comes into play. Now, I don't know if it's because I'm doing something wrong or if it's just because the way the meta gem, the meta skill works. You notice I can cast, as I'm casting Lightning Warp, this goes up. And you'll see it up here as well, man. I'll deplete it just so you can see. So as you're casting Lightning Warp, you're building energy for Spellslinger. That energy is stored, and then if you store enough, you can cast your spells. So that's the other beneficial thing about having higher Spellslinger skill levels, is because I cast Lightning Warp 1, 2, 3, 4 times, and then now I can cast Spellslinger once, which then casts my Ball Lightning. I have Ball Lightning and Spellslinger. Another thing that increases the amount of energy you gain is the boundless energy here. That makes it so that you can build up energy faster for Ball Lightning and Spellslinger. And then also something that helps obviously with this is cast speed. The faster your cast speed is, the smoother the gameplay is in terms of how quickly you can generate the energy to cast Spellslinger. And so I've got cast speed in a lot of different places on my gear. The most beneficial being my ring, followed by my gloves. I match what a lot of blood mages are doing in terms of optimizing their gear to do this, so I won't go too much in depth in there. Just know that the cast speed helps build energy faster so that you can cast Spellslinger. And all I do is I hold lightning warp down. I don't have to let go, and I use the keyboard and mouse. So I'm using the E key, and so as I'm casting it, my life goes down. Then my life regens faster because of the jewel on the skill tree, until it gets to a point to where now I'm recovering enough life so I can cast this infinitely, and my cast speed is really high. And then you can see how Spellslinger is just increasing as I'm holding down the button. And what's really nice about this is I'm holding Lightning Warp down. Now I'm going to hold Spellslinger down. Both of these buttons are pressed. I don't have to lift my hand. And so now, because both of them are pressed and I don't have to lift my hand, I can just move my cursor around where I want to go. This is really nice against single target damage, where I can just hold these two buttons down and not have to press any other buttons. I don't have to spam anything. Feels really good in that sense. Now, I could let go, cast Ball Lightning naturally. I do that if I'm trying to clear through maps faster, if I want to do it that way. I also use the cast on critical tech, where arc is in cast on critical. I don't let it kill the mobs with Piety's Mercy, so that way I can kind of dart around the map. So that's specifically for mapping. You don't actually need the cast on critical for the single target, because your Lightning Warp is doing all the damage and you're just holding that down, and Spellslinger is building energy for free because you're holding it on Lightning Warp, and you can just, once you build up enough life regen, you can just keep casting it, and it just feels better on my hands. Really, I don't think it's a new tech. I'm sure there's a lot of builds who are already doing this, but I just wanted to share, just in case it would be easier for other people. And when you think about damage for single target, each Lightning Warp, I mean, that's a million damage. So that's why the Arbiter goes down so far. And honestly, for mapping, I actually prefer putting Lightning Warp in cast on critical instead. You know what, maybe I can show you the difference real quick here. I'll just throw a couple of maps in. Let's just do this one. Maybe I can show you the difference real quick. This doesn't matter.
Let faith guide you.
So obviously one of the cons of the build is you literally have to build up your life recovery in the beginning. So that can be annoying. But once you get going, it's kind of seamless. I'm not moving my hand or my fingers. I'm just holding the keyboards down and I'm hovering my mouse over it. And as you can see, the spark or the arc is killing things in the back end, and I can just kind of go through the map. It's definitely my favorite build in the game. I really hope they don't nerf Bloodmage, because I will do this league after league. I think it's so fun. I love the animation. It's insanely strong. You can, yeah, and there's so many variations to this. You can customize it how you want. I mean, it's so, I just love it so much. But yeah, I don't need to go into too much more, as I think the other video that I'm going to link kind of explains it better than I'm doing it. And this is definitely not the highest end, but a very high end variation. I mean, I've got a Headhunter, and I've got a lot of very good uniques. I've probably got at least 500 divine into my character. Potentially there's budget variations of this, but probably as budget as you can get with having Wrathpith, having what else is, oh, Atatulis, having this gem. I mean, those are key. And then of course a dueling wand. And yeah, that's it. I probably missed some things, but at least the videos I link will kind of dive more in depth to maybe the intricate things that you need to know. This is just kind of a, hey, this is a cool thing you can do with Lightning Warp and Spellslinger that is easy on the hands and very good for clearing, very fun. So yeah, that's it. I watched the video back and realized I never finished my train of thought on why you can put Lightning Warp and cast on critical instead of arc. If you do it this variation, you kind of just have to swap the gems around, where now arc is your main skill for that you're casting. Make it so that arc is doing most of your damage, not killing things, and then your Lightning Warp will automatically go to the enemies. It's a little janky. It doesn't feel as smooth, but it's almost like a flicker strike, actually. That'd be the perfect way to explain it. And I can kind of show you an example. So let me just switch out some gems here. So I'm just gonna put arc in here. Put these. This is required, and bitter's required. And then now put Lightning Warp here. I mean, this isn't, yeah, it's whatever. I'll just put these in here and kind of give you an example. Where's arc at? Arc's here. So now you can see the difference. So let me just get another map here. If you're doing Bloodmage, you'll probably quickly realize you don't want to do any of the less life recovery, because it's just pretty annoying. But let me just go here and I'll just show you real quick the difference in swapping those out. Alright, so now I'm casting arc instead. And because arc isn't killing things, you just kind of fly around wherever Lightning Warp wants to take you. Like, see, that's why I kind of don't like it. I ended up making me go backwards. I wanted to go forwards. Yeah, you see, so it's kind of fun, but not as consistent. And it's just like a flicker strike kind of thing, where you'll just randomly go. Yeah, you'll just randomly go where cast on critical wants to take you. It can be insanely fast, but if you don't hit the mobs, well, then it's not. So you can play around with each variation, but I think it's a little more consistent with having the one I showed you with just spamming Lightning Warp using Spellslinger. But either way works. There's a lot of customizability with Bloodmage, which is why it makes it so much fun, this league. I think it's pretty cool. You can kind of put a bunch of different spells in here, and because of these items, you can, yeah, test things out. All right.